Thanks. Monday, November 9th, regular class. We're going to get into the story Voices, and we're going to finish out a wee bit of notes. So bring up those short story unit notes so we can go in there to try and help you out. And make sure I've seen your book report book. So yay, yay, yay. Download the story for today, which is on my website. You're going to do part 1, not part 2. Unless you just want to be confused. On your short story notes, we have on there, below where it has the internal conflict, external conflict, then it has the secondary short story notes. We're going to take a look at those real quick and write down definitions. Monroe?
I have a question.
Yes, dear.
What's Taya and the date today?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't know. Okay. Irony. We did irony way back with, what do you call that stuff?
Poetry.
Poetry. Thank you. And do you guys remember what irony is?
Yeah.
Because I figure since we're going to be using it again, if you want to write down the definition to help you out, we can try and make life easier. Cammy?
Like something that's like
It's a lot of liking.
I don't remember.
That was a strong start, dear.
Yeah.
Ethan?
It's something that, like, I say, like, don't do that, and then I do it.
Kind of. Aaliyah?
Kind of like being sarcastic.
Yes. But that's not the definition of it. That's an example of the thing that's connected to it. Maggie?
Well, I have an example.
No, don't want the example.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Something that's like figurative or literal.
No.
Or is it the wrong?
That's idiom.
Oh.
Yeah. And Joe?
It's when the opposite of what you expect happens.
Nicely done, Joe. It's what happens is the opposite of what you were expecting. So that's why it made the fun they had ironic, because at the end of that story, you have a girl who doesn't have to bother going to school and being tortured by teachers, and instead of being excited about that, her thing is, I wish I was at a school with teachers torturing me and making me stand in class and stuff like that. She's like, oh, they must have had so much fun back in those days. So the opposite of what you would expect, all she has to do is sit with a computer all day, and instead she wants to be around angry teachers.
It's just like saying, I miss the
I have an example of Haley being ironic.
Okay, what's your example of Haley being ironic?
She used to be a cheerleader, but she can't touch her toes.
So she's not flexible. That would be somewhat ironic,
Really?
apparently.
I couldn't touch my
Then,
toes.
the other one that's on there is foreshadowing. And so we're going to be using foreshadowing with today's story. You know foreshadowing?
I did definitely.
What's the definition?
Gerund or present participle.
Gerund or present participle.
No. Wait. Be a warning or indication of a future event.
Indication
Yeah.
of a future event. Can you put that into your own words?
No, I don't know what that
I was guessing that. That's the joy of looking things up, like, yeah, those are bigger words that meant nothing to me. Cammy?
Or like the author kind of like hints towards something that's going to happen but doesn't
Nicely done.
say it.
Clues to help you figure out the end. You guys remember the story, The Lady and the Tiger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the ending of it was? It just left it wide open.
yeah.
And it made you all angry.
Yeah.
Today's story,
It's
Same
just like
way.
that. Yeah.
Aww.
remember how I told you we would not read another story that ended like that?
You lied.
I did not lie to you. This one uses foreshadowing. You can figure out what happens at the end. Even though it just ends like right in the middle of like this conversation, and you're like, Mr. Brovicast, what happened? We're going to go use foreshadowing, and you'll be able to figure out exactly what happened in the story. Without foreshadowing, it's just going to be like, oh, that was a horrible ending. With foreshadowing, like, oh my God, that's what happened? Ah! And so you have to use foreshadowing throughout the story to get there. So foreshadowing is going to play a big role in the story to help you out. But you have to be able to pay attention to these clues throughout it. Now given, I think you'll probably be able to figure out the clues as we get into it, but we'll figure it out. All right, we're going to take a look at the story called The Voices. You can either bring that one up. We're done with the notes. You can put those away. Now it's just for the actual story bits. Ah! The loud scream woke Sam from his sleep. He sat up, flipped on the light next to his bed. A quick glance at the clock on his dresser told him it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty sure it was a clock like the one on the wall, so he actually had to read it like a normal human. That's not in there. Just me taunting kids who can't figure out how clocks work. It took him a frantic moment to figure out what it was that had woke him. It'd been a scream. His own scream, he realized. He thought for a moment as to what had caused a scream, frightening enough to wake him up. The car crash, the fire, his family dying in the horrible blaze. The images came rushing back into his brain, moments before the realization did. The realization that it had been a dream, not real. It had been a vivid dream. It had seemed eerily real, but it had been a dream. Only a dream. He lay back in his bed and concentrated on relaxing. He still had an hour and a half before his alarm would go off for school. He had enough trouble today, with his math test and all, so worrying about a bad dream was the last thing he wanted to do. But man, it seemed so real. It really spooked him. He could almost feel the heat from the fire, hear the screams of his family trapped in the burning wreckage, smell the icky fumes of burning rubber from the inside of the car, mixed with other smells he couldn't quite place and didn't want to. A smell that reminded him of summer barbecues for some reason. And he knew he didn't like it. No. He shook his head and tried to clear the disturbing images from his mind. This wasn't helping. He turned off his bedside lamp and rolled over to go to sleep. In the quiet of his house, he could hear his own breathing, the dog, Nevada, shuffling around downstairs, and the creaks of the house in the night. But it was then, at that quiet moment, in the middle of the night, he heard the voices for the first time. They were soft and foggy, but they were definitely there, and it scared him so badly that he wished he was dreaming again. "We're coming." And then another voice, louder and much clearer. "Dead!" And then we stopped for a moment. We have, wait, did you get to? There you go. We introduced a character. Who's our character so far?
Sam.
Sam. It works for me. And where is Sam?
In bed.
At home, in bed. And what has happened? Wait, we know part of the setting. When is it taking place? 5 o'clock in the morning. And he's hopefully still sleeping at 5 o'clock in the morning. What wakes him up?
His scream.
His scream and his dream. And what was the dream about?
His family dying in a fire.
Family dying in a fire, which apparently freaks him out a little bit. Then he says he can like hear it and taste it, not taste it, smell it. Which, by the way, to really embrace the overall creepiness of it, he says smell the icky fumes of burning rubber from the inside of the car. Other smells he couldn't quite place and didn't want to. A smell that reminded him of summer barbecues for some reason. You know why that's disturbing? Why would he smell a summer barbecue?
Because it's meat.
Uh-huh.
Meat is burning.
And what meat is burning?
His family.
The cat.
Yeah, the family. And so that was why the idea of that was that disturbing idea.
Oh.
Haley,
I have a connection.
what's your connection?
Last night I had a dream like that.
You did?
Yeah.
How
Are you
so?
okay?
I was in a race car, like, and my race car blew up, and it hit my mom, and she died.
Sounds awful.
That's not funny.
And
I had a dream once that, like,
Then-
I was sleeping and then you
Didn't
wake
call
up.
on you. What is the last part that bothers him?
It smelled like voices.
The what do the voices say?
Coming.
Dead.
Nicely done. So as he's trying to fall back asleep, all of a sudden the voices start talking to him.
I would have ran out the house.
Then it has those little dots up there at the top. That means it's jumping to a new scene in the story. So he's no longer at home in bed. His eyes hurt. He was sitting in his first period science class and couldn't believe his bad luck. Mrs. Larks was droning on and on in the front of the room. Something about cells and membranes, when his eyes kept bursting into flames. All right, well, not actual flames, but it sure felt pretty close. He was just sitting there, trying not to get called on, trying not to think about what a horrible morning he'd had, when all of a sudden his vision went completely white, and he could feel an odd pressure on his eyelids. And then it was gone. Nothing. He could see just fine without a problem. No residual stars in his vision. No need to blink to clear his eyes. The whiteness was gone as quickly as it had come. Sam quickly looked around to see if anyone else had noticed the burst of whiteness or if it had just been him. But nobody else seemed to be having a problem. He was looking to his left to see if Trevor had noticed it, when his left eye burst into flaming whiteness. This time, he noticed it didn't actually hurt. It just startled him and freaked him out, but there was no actual pain. He stopped for a moment, one eye viewing nothing but a brilliant, shining whiteness, and the other viewing his friend Trevor. He blinked to clear it, and then the whiteness switched eyes. His left eye cleared, just as his right eye burst into a vanilla star. He gasped audibly as the eye change startled him. He still felt no pain, but it was becoming incredibly frustrating. "Mr. Tynes, are you okay?" a voice from the front of the room asked. He paused there. A new scene. Where is it we are now?
At school, in the science class.
There you go. School in science class. And being at school in science, he has a new issue. Is it the voices?
No.
Nope. What's his new problem?
Eyes.
And his eyes are doing, what'd you say?
Seeing
Like
whiteness.
white.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're going all white. And then did it stay in the same eye or did it?
It
Switches.
switches.
Yeah, so one eye, it says like all, I'm trying to think of what it would be like. I don't know, take a piece of paper and all of a sudden it's like, "Rawr," and just all of a sudden all you see is whiteness. He's like, "Ah!" And then it goes away, it's like, "Oh, good." It's like, "Rawr!" And then the other eye is just like nothing but whiteness. And then that's what's sort of
Scary.
freaking him out a little bit. All right. "Mr. Tynes, are you okay?" a voice from the front of the room asked. He spun in his seat to see Mrs. Larks looking at him with concern in her eyes. He stared at her for about 3 heartbeats as he tried to focus with his only good eye. "Mr. Tynes, you're not looking well. Would you like to go to the nurse?" With a final burst of cream-colored light, his right eye suddenly filled with the stereo image of his left. His vision had returned. He rose to his feet, feeling surprisingly steady but scared. His vision was fine, but his mind, or his head at least, most certainly was not. "Yes, ma'am, I think I would. May I ask what's wrong?" My head hurts is all. I should be fine if I can get some aspirin or something," he told her. "Well, I hope you feel better. Go ahead and grab the pass off the wall and head down. You can get the homework from a friend when you get back." "Thanks, ma'am. I should be fine once I get something for my head." He walked up to the front of the room and grabbed the laminated blue pass off its hook on the wall. He didn't have to turn to feel the eyes of the class on him as he walked out. Even though he was just going to the nurse, he could still feel all the attention being directed at him. He could actually feel the silence in the room as all the eyes behind him followed his progress from the teacher's desk to the door. "God," he thought, "this is beginning to feel like a really bad dream. They're all dead!" He stopped in his tracks with his hand on the door. The voice, the one he'd heard this morning, the one he thought was just a bad dream, the deep male voice that had haunted his thoughts since that morning. Who's dead? The thought raced through his head. Is the class dead? Over there! The voice spoke again. He turned to look, and there we'll stop.
That was weird. I'm scared.
Tomorrow, we'll finish out the story and find out about the voices and all of that. Once again, your homework is not to read. Especially because the story is going to just stop in the middle and it'll just frustrate you and make you grumpy.
Short story.